be watching it on the main A Blog to Watch channel. You might be watching it on the main A Blog to Watch weekly channel. You might be listening to the podcast, or the entire recording process may have been completely gummed up, and this may never see the light of day. But if you are watching us, then welcome. Do feel free to take part in the chat. We have Will with us, so we'll say hello to Will, because Will's almost certainly the first person we'll need to kick out for having potato quality internet. A man who got on a flight at the last minute at 2:00 this morning and wasn't going to Geneva. Questions need to be asked. Hi, Will. How are you?
I know. Good evening. Hi, Rick. Thank you very much, and hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm coming to you from Poland, and it really tested my marriage when I said, "Please, can I go to Geneva?" We're so close. We really are so close. But next year, I've been promised next year I can go, which would be really exciting and really good. But until then, yes, potentially potato quality internet. So please do kick me out if it gets a bit blocky and crazy. But yeah, cool. Very excited to be here, and the releases are really exciting from what I've seen.
Yeah, there's one or two. Oh, Leslie is about to join us. The man who takes flowers into random JLC boutiques for no good reason. We'll tell you that story one day. Let's see, Leslie. Leslie, if you can hear us, you're live, so please don't come on all dazed and confused to the show. Leslie also suffers from potato quality internet, so this might not last very long. In the meantime, it's already telling me that Leslie is experiencing connectivity issues. I think you can take tablets for that, but we will see. Matt, under the cuff, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Doing very well, thank you.
Excellent. And where are you tuning in from?
Oh, deepest, darkest Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire. Not quite Poland or Geneva, but yeah, I do what I can from here.
Yeah. And Azad, welcome to the show. Big day for Tudor. You've got Tudor in the background, but where are you calling in from?
I do. I'm in London. Decided to stay home this year, but we've sent Kevin over there, so he's going to report Kevin back for us. Yeah, well, couldn't stop him, to be honest. So yeah,
good stuff. Excellent. And Nick, where are you joining us from?
From Northeast Hertfordshire.
Northeast Hertfordshire. Excellent. Nick.james.watches, only to be beaten if they were underscores. Now, there is a David in the lobby. I have no idea who this David is, but let's let him in. It might be David from the blog to watch. It is. It's the man, the mystery, the man with the very dark glasses today. It is David. He is dialing. Show us the team. Who do we have? There we go. Lots of people waving in the background. So David and gang are here. Leslie may be on the show. I don't know if he can hear us, but he's certainly not present currently. So let's get first impressions. David, how are you?
Everything's terrible. No,
everything's
that's not a drama. It's great. It's always a privilege to be here. It's cool. We had a blast today. Really, a lot of fun meetings, a lot of nice watches to see, a lot of pictures to edit. We had a long night last night because, of course, word got out that Rolex would be rolling out the red carpet at midnight, 1 minute past midnight, which is exactly how it happened. So we were just lounging here in the hotel, drinking Feldschlossen and preparing ourselves for the big moment, the big reveal, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so let's deal with that first of all, because everybody suddenly released everything. Either if you were IWC and had forgotten the time zone change, I think you sent out your releases 1 hour before midnight. Everybody else, except Bremont, it would seem, who got caught in the hop, and Tudor, who still waited this morning, got the releases out early. Do we think it was a plan, or was everybody got the rumor that Rolex were going at midnight, so everybody piled in behind them?
I honestly don't know. There's 60 brands here, so you can imagine 60 different answers and takes and strategies to that.
Yes.
But yeah, at least something happened. So that was cool. Yeah.
Yes. Good stuff. Let me just remove Leslie from the show. If Leslie, you're able to dial back in, that would be fine. So first reactions then, watch release of the day so far. Nick, You first. What has caught your attention the most to start off with?
I can't remember the reference, so don't ask me. But it was the 37mm Grand Seiko in the Evolution 9K. Purely for the fact that I think Grand Seiko is a brand that I've never actually wanted to buy. They've always been quite, not quite there with a model. There's always been something about them that I don't particularly like. But this, for me, has kind of ticked all the boxes. The smaller case, the quicker adjust class. I was happy with spring drive accuracy anyway, but they've improved it massively. So yeah, that was the one I was most impressed with, and is the first Grand Seiko I'd actually consider buying now.
Good. First reactions from yourself, Will?
The Rolex obviously always takes a little bit of prominence, and I was there at midnight watching the releases. I quite like the pistachio oyster perpetual, actually. aside from the Land-Dweller, which I think has probably got a lot of way too much coverage anyway. Other than that, there was a Lang & Söhne minute repeater. I think it was a minute repeater, which was black and quite beautiful, but it was only 50 pieces, so that was quite limited for me. But yeah, I wasn't massively impressed with Tudor. It didn't really nothing really massively surprising in any way. But yes, that was it. That's it.
Lang & Söhne.
Lang & Söhne, yeah, it's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. So that was. Yeah, that one was probably my star of the show so far.
So far. Good stuff. Matt, star of the show so far?
For me, I've been really taken back by all the gold watches that have been coming out. Now, I'm not a gold person, but there were three that struck me as really standing out as being stunning so far. The first is the Rolex GMT Root Beer Tiger Iron. Tiger Iron, I think it was called, which I thought was absolutely stunning and the sexiest watch to come out of Rolex for the last 10 years. The next was the Lang & Söhne Odysseus in honey gold, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. And then after that was the IWC Ingenieur 40mm gold with the black dial. There it is.
Get you that. Odysseus. There we go.
So the
honey gold.
in honey gold, which I thought was just beautiful.
Good. And Azad, what was your watch of the day so far before we get into some detail?
I really like the 8-day Calatrava that Patek put out. I quite like the look of that. And also the JLC World Timer, the Reverso World Timer.
Cool. And David and team that are there. David, shout out what you appreciated the most so far today, and then ask Sean and Jake in the background to shout out theirs.
Yeah, it's funny. I went this afternoon to the preview of some up and coming new movement, and we saw this this video of the exploded view and the balance wheel ticking, and it's like a nice, cool, new, highly engineered movement that I'm sure they spent years developing. And 2 days ago, maybe 3, I would have said that's a cool movement. And now with this Dynapulse escapement by Rolex, everything just feels. I had this reflex, this immediate reaction looking at that video and thinking, this is old tech now. And it's so interesting because just because Laurent Ferrier or whoever else does, if they make 20 pieces or 30 pieces of a natural escapement or a dual impulse escapement, that doesn't legitimize the existence of that escapement, at least not in my eyes. It's a very cool experiment. It's what these super ultra high end and very limited boutique watchmakers should be doing, because that's why we love them. But the moment you are a major brand, one of the top 10 or top 20, top 30 brands, and you take something and try and industrialize it and bring it to this scale and take on the responsibility of potentially failing if it's something that's not going to work. So for Rolex to embrace this technology, I think that is a huge deal. And we should not overlook the fact that this can be implemented in the already existing 32 series movement. So Rolex did not appear to have developed this just for the sake of showing off in this Land-Dweller. If all goes well, this will find its way, the Dynapulse escapement, in other Rolex movements that we know, and that is omnipresent in all the rest of the watches, basically, because it takes up exactly the same amount of space. So my answer to this is the escapement, and the reason for it is not because it's just a cool or a wonky new take on an escapement, but because this has forever been the holy grail of watchmakers, to develop a new escapement. This is what fascinated Breguet and George Daniels and all the greatest that have ever lived as and operated as watchmakers. And for Rolex to take it into such an industrialized level, I think is a quantum leap in terms of watchmaking technology today. And I just had this immediate reaction to this movie and looking at the Swiss lever escapement and thinking to myself, this looks really old now.
And the rest of the team around you, quick shout out for your fave so far.
Jake, what's your fave?
For me, it was the Reverso with the Milanese bracelet. It was just absolutely elegant and like a second skin on the wrist. I don't know, it's like the ultimate Reverso to me.
Sean?
So before I took today's meetings, I would have said the Gold Ingenieur. Afterward, you have to handle the Ulysse Nardin Diver Air. The entire assembly, including strap, weighs less than a tennis ball. It's just astonishing when you have your hands on it. Such cool tech.
Good. Right, well, let's go through, and we will use, obviously, a blog to watch to go through what's actually been happening today. Do we start where everyone probably starts, which is the all-new Rolex Land-Dweller? What do we think? Let's give it some judgment. So, tempted to play hit miss maybe on this. I think we probably should, at least to, give the audience what they want. The audience wants hit miss maybe. You will see in your chat, however, gents, that I've also attached the unique A Blog to Watch Watches and Wonders scoring system in general, which possibly indicates that Rolex might have won because they've actually produced a brand new watch. Or have they? Is maybe the question. So very quickly on this watch, give us your hit, miss, or maybe. Thumbs up, thumbs middling, or thumbs down. 1, 2, 3, go. Thumbs up, hits, maybes. So, Will, tell us why it's a hit.
It's a hit because I didn't want it to be a hit. I was really cynical and skeptical about it when it was released, and I kind of I appreciate the Tissot criticism, and it does look a bit like that, but it also references previous vintage Rolex as well, historic Rolex. So aside from the design side of it, and it may be that I'm just aging, but I quite like the way it's just quite kind of, and this sounds really basic, but it's quite shiny and it's just quite nice. It's the way that the texture of the dial works with the design of the case, and I mean, it's not the most beautiful of exposed case backs, the workings of it. It's still very nice, but it's, there are other watches that do it better. I think the package in a rose gold, although perhaps not for me, I think really works, and I think it's a really interesting thing to have done. And I think Rolex have done probably what they do best, is to have been moving forward, but in a slightly conservative way. So nothing is too crazy, nothing's too outlandish, but it just seems to have landed quite well, and that's why I think it's a hit, and it will have a ready set market that is quite desperate for it, and it will continue to go from strength to strength. And the new movement inside, the new type of movement inside, is an interesting advance going forward. So that for me is why it's a hit. I'm not so sure that I would necessarily buy one, but it's important for Rolex. I understand.
David, is it a nice looking watch? Because the reason I think it's a maybe is I'm not sure it's actually a good looking watch. It's maybe a good achievement, but does it actually look nice? I'm not convinced by the dial.
Exactly. You picked up on the bottleneck there. The dial is just crazy with texture. It's it almost looks undecisive to me from Rolex. It has hexagons, it has pentagons, it has rectangles, it has all kinds of different shapes divided by hour markers, and then you have regular markers, and then Arabic numbers and numerals, and then you have a date window. If you look at the night view of it, it's just so weird. You have 10 hour markers that glow in the dark, but they appear sort of random across the dial. You have this large box for the text, and then Land-Dweller doesn't fully fill it. It's just so many odd things being thrown at it. And if you look at the date, just 1630, from way back then, half a century ago, with essentially the same design that has, if I remember correctly, a sunburst dial. And I think they sort of missed something here by not allowing people to have the option of a more discreet, more streamlined dial. I understand that this is the identity that they want to create, but again, it looks undecisive to me, with quite so much texture, with this oddball mixed hour markers, which we never really, I don't think anyone ever liked these. I mean, some of these, sometimes they only had one number on some
Yeah.
and whatever. It's just a weird dial. But to answer your question, the case is very nice. The integration of the bracelet is spot on. We've not had a beveled edge on a Rolex steel case in quite some time. Some of them appeared on the titanium clad watches, and maybe in the 1908, but it's ho-hum in the way that it's done. So it's finally a beveled edge. And the quality of the execution is extremely high, even at this relatively high 14,000.
Lost David's audio there a minute for those watching live, and for David if he's listening on buffered Watches and Wonders internet. Matt, what did you think of this? One of the problems I have with it is that it's like a block. You remember the game Blockbusters from back in the day?
Yes,
This is the Bob Holness Blockbuster dial Rolex, the Farm Dweller. Is this too much text on this?
I mean, it's a lot less text than Rolexes have had on their dials before, isn't it? So it's not too
Well,
much,
maybe.
really, I think.
Yes.
I like the new numeral fonts. At first glance from the leaks, I thought it was going to be identical to the Explorer numerals, and it did seem like a copy and paste job from the Rolex parts bin. But having looked at it, it does have a completely new bezel with 60 call them chevrons, and the font for the 6 and 9 are unique as well. So for me, I've lost everyone.
Nope, we've still got you, but you do seem to be in Potato Internet. So Azad, thoughts? So did you actually seem to have an actual internet connection?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with it, with pretty much everybody. I can respect what they've done with the movement. I do like the case. I think the finishing looks fantastic. The flat links Jubilee bracelet looks really nice as well. I think that's a very nice touch. The dial is a bit over the top. I don't like the Arabics at all in terms of, well, the fact that we only get 2 of them, which is a bit of a problem. Yeah, I don't know if you've got pictures of the platinum version with the diamond indices. It just looks a lot cleaner once you take those Arabics away. Suddenly, actually, you can start to appreciate the motif on the dial a little bit more because there's kind of less to draw your eye away at. Personally, I could have done without the date as well. I just don't think it's necessary. Could have had a really nice kind of sporty dress watch there, but there's time. I'm sure there'll be future iterations. That's one thing you can count on Rolex for.
Yes, there will be more of them coming along in a minute. Who have we not spoken to? Nick?
Yeah, referring a lot of the sort of points. I think it's, I gave it a hit, kind of reluctantly. I'm not the biggest Rolex fan, but I think, it is something new-ish. And I like everything about it apart from, the dial. The dial texture I don't dislike too much, but it's the numerals and the name is ridiculous. But yeah, the flat link bracelet I think looks lovely. It looks much nicer than the rounded Jubilee in my opinion. And yeah, it's nice to see the hidden clasp back again, because I think that's what really makes a Jubilee.
Yeah. I think Jake, who's in the background, did suggest on the WhatsApp group that any brand that produced something that allowed them to have a land, air, and sea completionist approach should be chucked out of watches and wonders. So I don't know if Jake still wishes to stand by that theory. But yeah, Rolex have done that. In terms of our scoring system, Jake, are you willing to eject Rolex from the show because they have a land, air, and sea collection now?
I don't think that was me, but if Rolex is getting ejected, they are right behind Bremont.
Well, it's good that you should mention Bremont because I thought we'd go there next. So Bremont released this. Yes, Bremont have released this. It seems to be, if you're in the same camp as Nico Vandenhorst releasing a watch, and you time it so that you also are producing a jumper at the same time as Nico that costs 4 times as much, have you got a problem? What do we think? David, did you manage to see this yet?
This one, no, but it looks like a Gucci. Basically, we were just talking
does,
about this
doesn't
the other moment. It does have this. Didn't Gucci launch something like this?
Yeah,
Exactly
Gucci.
like this?
Yeah, Gucci had this 3 years ago.
It even
I think
looked
they
the
released
same,
it.
basically, roughly the same.
Theirs was gold PVD, I think, possibly because it wasn't expensive. I don't think it was
I don't mind
bronze
it. I'm not
like
sure
this
what's
is.
Bremont about this. Maybe if it had like a sundial or something, it looks sort of like that. So if you really want to go on an adventure, I quite like this one with the black dial. That's pretty cool. I understand that they are trying, and we have to respect the fact that they do that. I quite like that one. The black dial is kind of out there. It's like somebody was a designer and they were given almost free reign. Do whatever you want. It's not necessarily a good. It doesn't appear to be a good use of such an enormous case and dial.
It does feel like somebody at Ferdinand Berthoud, like the 14-year-old intern, came in and just removed a whole load of parts from the Ferdinand Berthoud dial, and this is what they ended up with. Which is not to say I necessarily dislike it, because I actually quite like it. But what do you all think on the Bremont releases? Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or is it a maybe? For the jump power complications that have come out from Bremont, they hit, miss, maybe? Hit, miss, maybe. Matt is frozen or is just in shock. I'm not sure which. Nick, how'd you vote and why?
Me. In all honesty, it was the first time I saw them. My kind of instant reaction. But yeah, not a big fan. The black dial, what's the hand for? Is that a second hand?
Yeah, I think you read it across the way.
Hours, minutes.
My guess is it's 8:30, and this is the second hand.
So what's the point of a second hand to be precise when the minutes are in 5-minute increments?
Listen, these are the questions. They're it's going to be difficult to read. The alternative is that to make it more confusing, this is the hour hand, this is the second turner, and this is the minute hand. Which would be kind of like an American way of doing it, the way that they do their dates, just kind of swap everything around. Who cares which way around it reads? But I'm not honestly sure. And I don't know if anybody actually knows the answer, or if anybody cares long enough to investigate the answer, quite frankly. We're getting the comments in. Natural movement, oyster quart. Let me see if I can display some of the chat as we go along. Yep, there we go. Have a go in the chat. It's a bit difficult to display it because we're broadcasting on a number of channels at the same time. We've never done this before. Cadre Films, Bremont equals personality crisis. Yeah, maybe that is the best way of thinking of this. This is just not really establishing a personality of the new brand of Bremont. Will, thoughts on this? And then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, to echo the comment that's just been made, I agree in terms of the personality of Bremont. It seems to be moving further and further away from what it was. And it's not to say that brands or watch companies shouldn't innovate and change and expand their line. I mean, the black dial is really nice. It's really nice. I'm not going to criticize that at all. But in terms of coming from Bremont, it's a little bit left field. But actually, I'm kind of caught up in actually how quite pretty that black dial watch is. So I said maybe, because I didn't think it was particularly on brand. But it's still a nice looking watch anyway.
Good stuff. Okay, gentlemen and chat, where would you like to go to next in the wide world of what has come up on Watches and Wonders? Any nominations as to where to travel to next? We have 60 brands plus any that actually aren't Watches and Wonders. David, would you like to spin the wheel of where we go next?
Oh my goodness, let's go to Patek.
Patek. Okay,
but whatever.
Let's find out what we've got from Patek. It's a bit of a process for me to get all the Patek articles, but here we go. First up then, I think the most important release from Patek this year is probably this, the 40mm Cubitus. The watch that everyone's been waiting for from Patek is another Cubitus. Why? Do we know? Any thoughts? Has this cured the problem, making it slightly more appearing squat? Nope. Still a miss. I think the chat's still a miss. Yes. Okay. Let's ignore that. Where else in Patek should we go? Favorite Patek? We've got a few. The gold. I quite like this 8-day reference, although it does look a bit. To go back to the previous band, a bit Bremont-y with this gnarling round the case. It feels very MB2 or whatever the ejector seat one was. Have you been on the Patek stand yet, David?
Nope, we're going there in 2 days.
2 days. Do you think the Cal? Yeah. Okay. So what do we think of this? The Patek Philippe Calatrava 8 days reference. I assume the 8 days is in reference to the Power Reserve rather than Patek having found an 8th day of the week. They definitely lose points for the length of name. I think the agreement was you're allowed 3 words and then it's -1 for every word thereafter. I think they also lose points for putting the Saturday in a wheel while the date is on a pointer. But yeah, that would be my comments. But what do you lot think online and in the chat? Is it a hit, a miss, or a maybe for you all? I'm still going to give it a hit. Maybe. Matt's still frozen. I think we probably need to kick Matt out so he can come back in. David, why is it a hit?
I can see Matt perfectly fine, so maybe we need to kick you, Rick.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear us. You're just not.
Yeah,
actually, bizarrely, you're moving on YouTube. You're just not moving on my screen for some reason. So there you go. Maybe I do need to leave.
Good proportions. I really like this Clou de Paris hobnail kind of case profile. Beautiful, not very legible. Sometimes they should consider their clientele more. Most of the people who can afford these can't really read tiny letters up close or from afar. I never understood the point of these watches. It's like, what did I pay for? How much?
Isn't this meant to be their field watch as well?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but when we think about Patek owners in their fields, it's more country estate being driven around by Jeeves than it is in a field herding sheep, presumably. One would assume.
I got this one. Great.
Will, what did you think?
Yes, I mean, you never truly own that 8th day, do you? You just look after it for the next generation. I really like the texture of the dial. I think it looks really good. I really like it, and I think you could. It's a field watch, but I think you could get away with it as an everyday watch and also as a dress watch as well. I suppose maybe just because it's a Patek, but that looks, it's very good. And as you say, it doesn't really matter if people can read it necessarily or not. It looks pretty enough, I think, from a distance.
Matt.
Well, now that you can hear me, to go to your farm dweller reference, it's more like a pasture watch than a field watch, really, isn't it?
Being put out to pasture watch, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go, Grandpa.
Yellowstone National Park.
Yes, have that, Grandpa. You'll be dead soon, and you can pass it on to us quite quickly. I happen to really like this line of watches, but this one's no different for me. Anyone else wish to pass comment on their vote? Nick
just think that
Hazard.
maybe I'm not overly fussed with it, and yeah, I'm not a particular fan of this kind
of this sort of thing. Down with this sort of thing, as they say. Right. As as you've not commented, you get to choose where we go next. So in the wide world of Watches and Wonders, where would you next like to visit?
Oh, I'd like to go to JLC, please.
JLC, please. I'll have a P, please, Bob. I'll have a JLC, please. Right, let's see if we can find JLC. What was particularly attractive to you about actually, before we get there, David, was there any horse references on the JLC stand? The JLC, have you seen it? Did they push there?
I think it's best if Jake explains it because he was there.
So the last 2 years, they've had this centerpiece to the booth. 2 years ago, it was a waterfall with like all these lights shining in. There's pyrotechnics last year. This year, it's all these strands of LEDs to make like a hologram, and it's like a horse galloping and someone playing polo, and everyone is there in like polo uniforms with knee-high boots with numbers on their back. So,
have you mentioned polo?
It's polo, yeah.
Yeah, never happened. Never happened. I think there should have been a scoring system that says if JLC, for every time JLC mentioned Pomo, they lose a point. Right, JLC, here we are on the Watches and Wonders JLC page at a blog to watch. Which watch would you like us to vote on of these releases today, Azad?
Why don't we go? Well, my favourite's the World Timer, but why don't we look at the minute repeater?
JLC minute repeater. So the first question about any JLC minute repeater is how long is it going to work for? So Matt, David, your experiences of JLC in the wide range of how reliable they are?
I mean, people I was told were not allowed, distinctly not allowed, to have these watches get in contact with their skin. And that's a grinding gears coming their way, if there ever was one. I mean, it's called a wristwatch. I don't understand what is so difficult to comprehend for Jaeger-LeCoultre about this. I mean, if they make a watch that is so delicate, it's a freaking reverso. You should be able to wear it on by galloping and being hit by like clubs and whatever, you know. So it's so anti Watches and Wonders, so anti Jaeger-LeCoultre. It's so anti reverso. It's anti wristwatch. It's anti everything when they pull a watch out of there wherever and then they tell you we're gonna put it on. Why are we even here? Imagine if every brand did that. It would negate the whole point of this exercise where we take wrist shots and show people what these watches look on the wrist because that's what people care about. And Jaeger is like, no, you can't put it on. It's honestly, it's an insult to the community and to wristwatches in general.
There we go.
Pretty bad.
But David's giving it a hit. So let's give this some judgment. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or maybe the JLC minute repeater? Hit, miss, maybe. Hits, maybes, and I need to wait for the YouTube to buffer so I can see how Matt voted.
Maybe.
A maybe from Matt. There we go. So, David, you still gave it a hit because that's just the way it works. Will, how did you vote?
I said maybe because I like them trying to do it, and it's the style of the watch and the design of it is quite pretty. But I don't know. I was thinking in this case, looking at the dial, and I like skeletonized movements. But, and this might be really critical, but it looked a little bit like when you ask AI to do a design for you, and it comes up with something with a lot of different colors and textures and shapes, and something that's slightly airbrushed. And it looks, and it may just be the photography in this, but it looked a little bit like that. I've no doubt that it would be beautiful if I would be allowed to put it on my wrist, which sounds absolutely ridiculous anyway. But that's why it's kind of a maybe. It's nothing that kind of blows my socks off. So that's a watch that I will never own, but still I'll be a little bit critical about it. So
absolutely. David, any signs of AI at Watches and Wonders this year?
Not that I could see or register. I couldn't see much. Thank goodness. so far.
Yeah, good. Nick, what do you think of this?
I mean, it looks okay. I'm not a big fan of overly complicated reversos. You know, I mean, how is this going to wear? Like, it's going to be pretty big, pretty thick. I think even the duo face is a much less elegant watch than the mono face, so it's purely because of the height of the case. But yeah, not fucking watch. If you like
Next time, yeah, whatever. It's just you know, right in the middle. JLC, switched it over, got a minute repeater, yeah, whatever. Azad, obviously, was this a favourite of yours? Defend it.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and you know, I think what's important with this is if you don't like to have the complication shown off, you just flip it over, and then it looks incredibly straightforward. It's just a straight two-hander, but with that hidden fantastic complication there. Personally, for me, if a reverso doesn't have some kind of complication or something else on the other side, then it's pointless because I'm not playing polo at the end of the day. So why do I need a flat back on the other side?
And to be fair, they're not pulling polo either. But again, that's the hill I'm going to die on. Matt, what do you think? And you choose where we're going next after JLC.
I think I stand on the same side as Nick in that less is more for me with the reverso. I prefer the one-sided dial. My pick of the bunch of the reversos was the Milanese bracelet one. I can't remember the model name. Which I thought was just stunning. But this, but we're talking about this one. I don't have a particularly strong opinion on it either way, which is why I gave it the maybe.
Good. Okay, and now choose what brand we're going to next, Matt.
I think we've got to go for the Tag Heuer Formula One, haven't we?
Tag Heuer Formula One, do we? Yeah. I'm sorry, Matt appears to have frozen. I can't hear what you said. Sorry, what was that, Matt? What was that? That was sorry.
It was IWC. Sorry,
was that IWC? You said it was IWC, right? Tag Heuer.
IWC. I said sorry. Yeah.
Tag Heuer. At least it's easy to get to because you can kind of see it quite clearly on the web page. New release Tag Heuer Formula One Solargraph watches. Okay. Guess the price of the Tag Heuer plastic. Is it? I don't even know what it's made of. Is this Is it a $2,000 ask? I think so. 2,000.
Yeah, I think it's about £1,600.
That's going down as we speak. Depreciation live on the internet.
In the US, it's 1,800.
It's $1,800. 1850 Swiss francs. So there we go. Right. Give us a brief intro to this, Matt.
Well, it was teased for the last few weeks on the Formula One for those that watch it or for those that sleep through it on their Sunday afternoons. Replacing Rolex, as we all know from last year. Just a really fun piece, and nobody saw, I think, that this was going to be the Solargraph model of this watch. Everyone was looking at it thinking it's going to be just a non-Kith version of the watch. It's fun for 1,600 quid. I think actually it's pretty good for a Solargraph model. If it was just the quartz model, I'd be saying that's way overpriced, but it is the Solargraph model, and you've got any colorway that your heart desires here. It's fun for the price range. I think it's good.
Okay, let's give it a vote. Is it a hit, a miss, or maybe do join in on the chat? 1, 2, 3, go. Hit, miss, some misses, some hits. David, you give it a miss?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while for me to be able to associate this watch with Formula One. It's not a chronograph, and call me, just old school or old fashioned, but for me, it has to have something else other than a diver bezel for it to be Formula One. I understand the heritage and the history and all the rest of it, but every time an F1 race started this season and I saw this bezel, I just thought it was odd in a way. And I'm just not sure I would rush through a Tag Heuer boutique with 1,800 of my US dollars to get one of these. It's fun, it's cool, it's relatively well made, and I love the Solargraph movement. So it has a lot going for it. But at the same time, I think I need to spend more time with it to really gel with it and be like, okay, I have to have this in my life to feel more Formula One savvy or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. It's for the Scottish Formula One. That's why I need a dive watch. It's for the Scottish race. Okay. Nick.
Just a quick question: is there anything particularly special about the solar quartz movement? Is it high accuracy? Is it Is it anything different to a 150 pounds eco drive?
Not that I'm aware of. It's just not usable in this particular part of the world, which will make it a difficult sell in Glasgow. But I'm not aware that it introduces any great accuracy other than you don't need to change the battery. But folk will still take it into shops asking to get the battery changed when it stops because they don't realise it needs to be in the sun quite a lot. I'm not sure. I'd be interested to know how good these dials are at actually transmitting the light, because they look pretty solid to me, whereas the kind of normal Solargraph seems a bit more see-through. These don't look like they're I'm not sure where the solar bit is. It's not very obvious to me. David, is it obvious to you?
No, not really. Looks good.
Is it the wee tag flag somewhere? I don't know. I don't know where the solar. It just it is a bit odd. So does that encourage you, Nick, or discourage you?
I mean, it discourages me. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm one of those rare watch people that's not a fan of Formula One. So don't boot me off. But so I've got no connection to the originals or tag in general. But pleased for the people that want it. I know a lot of people were excited about it, so good for them. Yeah, in the same way that golf is a good walk spoiled, Formula One is a good sleep spoiled. Right, Azad, who have we not heard from? Azad, what did you make of this?
I just don't like the look of them. I know they resemble the older Formula One tags that they do, but I didn't like those back then. I don't like these either. I mean, are these colours following some kind of team colours or anything, or is it they just random loud colours they decided to put in?
I think I'd more lean into the random loud colours. I suspect that a happenstance that some of them maybe match a team. I don't honestly know.
That would make more sense.
I really liked the originals, and there's a lot of nostalgia there that makes me think, maybe I would like these. I fear that they might feel a bit cheap and plasticky when kind of up close. The solar bit of it, I agree. I actually thought that it sounds harsh. I actually thought the solar bit was an April Fool's thing this morning when I saw it, because it said solar, but like you, I looked at the dial and I was like, where is it getting the solar bit from? There should be some sort of bit that looks a bit. I mean, it's obviously some sort of magical bit, and maybe it's the indices.
It's magic.
Or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's like perpetual. It's perpetual. The loomed pips give off the light, and it kind of charges itself. I don't know. David. David, your thoughts on this, and nominate where we're going next.
Again, I think it's not too bad. I think it's very important for Tag Heuer to have a collection like this that is affordable, that is technically interesting, and that is relatable and likable for the masses. This has to have enormous mass appeal. It's basically the face of Formula One watches at this point, because it's associated with the sport, and it's also the entry level, not just into the world of Tag Heuer, but for many people, for decades, the Formula One collection has been a point of entry into the world of watches, right? It's the first sort of nice watch that they get themselves. So it has to be good. I think Tag Heuer did a decent job with these. I like the fact that they played around with colors. That's very cool. It's a cool looking watch. So I'm happy it exists, and I'm happy that Tag Heuer is standing behind this collection. With that, I'm going to say goodbye because we still have some stuff to do. I'm happy I could log in and see you all guys, and
good stuff.
A little bit later.
Well, nominate where we go next before you go, David.
Go to IWC. A lot of stuff there.
IWC. Right. Thank you, David. Have a good rest of show. Goodbye. Right. IWC. While David goes off and enjoys whatever free schnapps they're serving up wherever he is just now. Snaps a Swiss thing? I don't really know. IWC. I have to say, if anything was a potential April Fool's joke, it was the IWC Pilot's Watch Performance Chronograph Perpetual Calendar Digital Date Month Watch. I would like to look at that. Any other IWC that took your fancy? I'd only like to look at this for the price. So I don't know how many of you are aware of how much this is, or whether anyone wants to play along in the chat. How much do you think a digitized IWC Perpetual Calendar watch they're going to charge for this baby here? Have a guess. Matt, don't know if you already know.
I don't know. So ceramic case, ceramic bracelet. Let's go 45.
Okay, 45 from Matt. You can play higher or lower in the chat. Nick, what do you think they were charging for this?
I don't know the price either. I'm going to go much higher. I'm going to go 80,000.
80,000. Will, how much are IWC trying to rob you of for this watch?
God, I was going to go in at 25, but I think that's
25.
really probably, yeah. I'm going to stick with 25. I know it's too low, but
Yeah.
I like to be surprised.
Yeah, Azad?
I'm going to go 29.
29. Okay, we will scroll to the bottom and reveal the actual price for this watch with a modular unit. It's 43 mil, I think. Yeah, 43 mil. So it's good size for me. It is 100-meter water resistant, so it does beat the whole kind of Omega thing. We produce a really nice Digiani type watch, but has very poor water resistance. I do quite like it, but they are wanting to charge for this 80,000. No, yeah, I don't see
80,000
yeah,
Swiss francs.
80,000 Swiss francs for this kind of take on a non-digital type of watch. So there you go, 80,000 for your kind of A-Lang and Zona Zeitwerk vibe on an IWC. But price aside, do you think it's a hit, a miss, or a maybe? 1, 2, 3, go. I'd still buy it if I could. I love it. Right, Matt, how did you vote? Because you're still frozen on my screen.
Thumbs down for me.
Thumbs down.
I think it's just too big. The dial's too busy. I do like the digital date, but not on this model. Perhaps it's a bias against this model, the performance chronograph. I just think there's too much going on the dial. It takes up too much space, and the bumpers on the side make it look clunky and disproportionate.
It's certainly a hunk of watch. Nick, are you into hunky things? I don't know why I asked that.
We're still live and recording.
Yes, that's true. It's true. Yeah, sorry everybody at home, for all the kids watching.
I think it's a maybe. Like, it's pretty cool in its complications and stuff like that. I don't hate the look, but yeah, it is a bit too big. Is the 12 o'clock subdial, is that a coaxial minutes an hour for the chronograph?
Oh, I mean, don't let facts get in the way of a good hitmiss. Maybe, yeah. I think it's it goes 0, so it must. I think it.
Yeah.
Oh, on the sorry, where are we talking about? The 6 o'clock or the 9 o'clock?
No, the 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
The 12 o'clock. Yes, sorry, the 12 o'clock. Anyway, all our clocks. Yeah, I think that's the second time zone of some description, or maybe it's just like they're channeling their inner Breitling.
Chronograph, isn't it?
Is it the chronograph?
Isn't it?
Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it must be, because that's. Well, hold on a second. If that's so, what's the bottom? The bottom is like a retro
indicator.
Leap year, but it's going 0 to 30 and back again. So it must do. All right, so you're reading. Oh, that's going to be confusing. So
Yeah,
you're
so you've got the
reading the
smaller-
little. So this hand here, for those watching, is let's learn together, shall we? So this hand here, I thought this went backwards and forwards, but it doesn't. It rotates and gets in the way of everything else. But if it's the little bit that looks like the end of a matchstick, then is that the inside?
That's 0 to 30. Yeah.
Well, so is it completing the line so it's 0 to 30? Whereas this one, the longer end is, or is it the other way around? And who would ever remember? So is it, what's it pointing at just now? Is it 24 seconds or 54 seconds? Answers on the postcard. Read this watch. What time is it on this? Answers in the chat. What time is it on this IWC? And actually, it's the 25th of the 8th, which I find confusing. I don't want to have to go, what month is the 8th? Just tell me it's June or August, whatever the 8th is. And that's fine. And then the top is the chronograph. And is the center seconds the chronograph seconds then? Or do we think the 6?
It's got to be.
Got to be. Well, it doesn't have to be. It's IWC. You can do what they like. They've messed this up at the bottom.
You can see the colours on the hands match with the colours of the hands at the top for the chronograph.
Oh, good point. Yes, they've put a wee bit of that bronze paint you used to get for Airfix kits on the end of the hand, just to make it clear. I still quite like it. I'd still have one. It looks ace, but it's, I think, not quite as legible as perhaps I thought it was when I first looked at it. Yeah, I don't know what time that says.
You did the centre one for the tachymeter, wouldn't you?
Yes.
And the
outside. So that's for the outside. Yeah, good call. Bit of knowledge in the room. Good to see some of that. I still don't know what time it is though. I still don't know whether. And where's the dead seconds? So the dead seconds is on the right. Has it got hacking seconds on it? Who knows? Right. Questions for the chat. If anybody knows, if anyone at IWC is tuned in, tell us what time this watch is. Right. Where shall we go next? William chooses a brand.
Cartier.
Cartier. Oh, dearie me. Cartier. I need to find it. Where's Cartier there? What do we have from Cartier? Oh, we have more jump hours. Let's go to the jump hour show.
Yes, this one. Yes.
Cartier Privé Tank Aguiche. Matt, tell us how we pronounce this.
Aguiche.
I was expecting a bit more. I was expecting more. I've been to watch school flair than that.
Aguiche.
Yes, that's more like it. Spit into the microphone. So this appears to be 2 different jump hour types. So can somebody explain to me why you would choose to have the one whereby it's on the left-hand side and at 90 degrees to the horizontal? Is this some throwback to something they did before? Or is this brand new from Cartier?
Bremont, and why do Bremont and Cartier both model their jump hours on bathroom weighing scales?
Yes, that's true. There is, yes, it does look like a bat. So you're in fact 10 stone, 10 pounds on this particular watch. But you've got to put your feet. I think this is crying out for second to do a wee etching of 2 feet standing on this. So if somebody would like to, I don't know how much this watch is, somebody would like to donate a lot one of these. Oh, does it actually tell you? Oh, they get minus points for not revealing the price for us to be able to put it on the website. There we go. Right. Is it a hit? Is it a miss? Or is it a maybe? Join in the chat. 1, 2, 3. Go. Miss. Hit, miss. Matt, why is it a miss?
Oh, I just hate the look of it. the whole
Just
bars and
hate it.
scales look alike.
Just full of hatred and bitterness towards Cartier.
No, I don't have a hate and bitterness towards Cartier. I like a lot of their lineup, but this, it's not just this particular model. It's this style of watch, the Bremont. There's another one that I can't think of the name of.
The
right
main
now,
one that
someone
Nico's involved with.
Main.
Yeah,
I just don't like it. There's too much. It's easily identifiable, and you'd spot it across the bar if you saw someone wearing it, reaching for their martini or whatever. But I just hate it.
Hate, that's fine. That's a good emotion. Nick?
I do quite like it. I like the regular position one. I think it looks very nice in the white metal. It looks quite brutalist. I think I do like that Cartier design of kind of a meshing between sort of brutalist and elegant styles. The slanted one is very strange. I don't particularly like that. It's almost like the
Nick has frozen, at least for my end. So Will, how'd you? Oh, Nick's back. Nick's not back. Will, you're here definitely. Your potato internet's held out very well, sir.
It's all right. I'm actually outside at the moment, which seems to be where the potato internet is best. So I'm in 11 degrees. So if I die tomorrow, I gave it up all for you.
Well, let's not have Cartier be the last watch brand that you speak about before your death. At least not this one. It'd be a sad. He died talking about Cartier. He was full of bitterness and angst because he didn't like this watch. What do you think?
It's I'm not on board with the design. I understand the brutalist style and it fits with the Cartier 1920s 30s type style, but I just think it sounds really bad. It's a bit of a waste of what could have been. You could beautifully enamel that the front of a watch, or you could put a beautiful etching or a design onto it, and to not do that, I appreciate, is completely contrary to what they want from their design. But for my personal taste, I can't get on board with it, and that's kind of why I chose Cartier, because I've looked at it a few times and I was just wondering how to properly appreciate it. Much like when I look at a piece of art and I just can't understand it, but everybody else seems to like it. I just need to be told why I'm wrong, and then I can get on board and I can form part of society again. So
I mean, let's face it. Well, if it doesn't look like a hand-drawn chicken, it's really not up your street.
I'm literally itching to do a design on it. I really want to do a design on it.
Need to draw chicken. Must draw chicken. As a what did you make of this?
I'm definitely giving it a miss. But can I just check the slanted one? Mm-hmm. If you're wearing that on your left wrist,
yes,
read it?
Exactly. That was exactly what I was going to say. How on earth
people to read? So for Jeeves to read.
Yeah, that'll be the next release. They'll release it for 3 times the price, but it'll be flipped over. Or is it? Or is that? Do you think, Nick, there's an element of driver's watch about this?
Yeah.
Vacheron Constantin, the American series, maybe? No, does that?
Maybe.
No, it's the wrong way round. It's the wrong way round, isn't it? The 10 would need to be
like a right-handed
top.
driver's watch.
So right-handed drivers. If you only want to know what the hour is.
This is for those people that have got a man to read their watch for them. Jeeves, what is the time on my wrist?
Yes. To be fair, if I had a man to wear a watch for me to read the time, I'd probably just make him wear the watch rather than move back my cuff in order to reveal this monstrosity. It is a bit odd.
Can I just add? I mean, I get the brutalist look. I don't understand it on an alligator strap though. That doesn't really work for me. Nor does it in gold either.
Want a concrete strap.
Yeah, I mean something that actually fits the aesthetic of what you're going for.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is what this is trying to do.
Fair enough. So Cartier haven't literally won a watch on that. Okay, Matt. Nick. I don't think you've chosen. Have you chosen a brand? Choose a brand for us. A couple more to go, and then we'll call it quits. Call a brand for us.
I'll go with Grand Seiko because that was my
Grand Seiko. Yes, there's a thing. Now I saw some Grand Seiko chat and some articles, but I have not yet had a chance to read anything about them. So there were 4, I think, general releases. The new Grand Seiko Tokyo Lion Tentograph. Obviously, there's a zoo moved in to the bottom of Mount Iwate, so they're getting inspired by the lions at the zoo. The Grand Seiko Kiri watch, the Grand Seiko Tentograph. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a holdover from last year, where I think was it the year before they launched the Tentograph, and the Grand Seiko Eve. No, that's an older one. This is the problem. You look at this and you go, has this not already been released? So which one of these 3, if indeed any of them, would you like us to take a closer look at?
The Evolution 9, that one is new.
The Evolution 9.
7. Bottom left.
Bottom left. Why is it showing as February the 2nd, 2025? So
okay.
That's not been a... Is that's
that, but not that particular one. Have you not covered it?
No, we've maybe not covered it. There's maybe just so much coming out from Grand Seiko that we've not covered. We could, seeing as David's away, we could sneak onto somebody else's website. Oh yes, I've heard about this. Well, let's go to Grand Seiko's own website and see if they're speaking about it. So let's have a guess before I reveal. Will it be the homepage, or how many clicks to enable us to get? Like, how bad is their website, basically? I think three clicks to get to this amazing watch. Right. Is this it here, in fact? No.
That's the one.
That the one? So we have to go back. We actually have to click back now because it's moving, it's scrolling so fast. There we go. Evolution 9 collection, Spring Drive UFA. The Spring Drive UFA movement with an astounding annual rate makes its debut in a creation inspired by the beauty of ice forests. And sigh. Right. Forgetting about what it's inspired by, why is it so special? What's so highly accurate about this watch, Nick?
So, plus or minus 20 seconds a year.
Okay.
Which makes it the most accurate, mainspring powered watch.
Although I do love this. Have you seen how grand this strikes me? I mean, I don't know a lot of Japanese people, but this strikes me as a particularly Japanese way of presenting this. This wouldn't happen if this was an American company or a Swiss company. They wouldn't go, the groundbreaking movement boasts a level of precision defined not by accuracy in seconds per day, week, or month, but by its accuracy over 1 year. The automatic UFA movement has an astounding annual rate of plus or minus 20 seconds, just as you've said, making it the most accurate wristwatch movement powered by a mainspring today. Everybody else would have a full stop there, and that would be it. They have an asterisk. And it says, as of April 2025, based on Grand Seiko's research. So, yeah, that's a particularly, that's kind of like, does anybody know of anything better? You would just boast, this is the most accurate, just deal with it. Come at us. So, yeah, it's quite good. Do we know how they manage it? What's the secret sauce that makes this happen? Nick, Matt, anybody?
On it. I think it's the crystal with a longer in it. Give it a nice bath or something. I can't remember. But it's more just the movement is impressive, but it's less to do so with that because I think Spring Drive was already impressive. It's more the fact that this Evolution 9 model I do think is quite nice. It's been marketed as a kind of sport everyday watch, whereas I think it looks quite dressy.
Impacts your local internet apparently when talking about it. Because we have there we go. We've lost Nick there for a minute. Oh, you're back. 3-step micro adjustment clasp.
Micro adjustment clasp, all the other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All good. Right. Very quick hit miss maybe on this. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah, why not? Let's give it a hit. Yeah, it's a hit all round. Everybody loves Grand Seiko, but not quite enough to go out and buy one. That seems to be my experience of Grand Seiko. They're really, really nice, but not really actually going to buy it. Matt, thoughts on this and accuracy?
All very impressive. Looks beautiful. They've taken one step in the right direction with that. I mean, they term it a micro adjust class, but it's 3 fixed positions, so it's make of that what you will. I don't understand. It's just another thing that irks me about modern watch companies. Why can't they just make micro adjust clasps that are adjustable on the fly? Again, we've covered this ground before, but I'm not going to go over it again.
So you're having to do it because Guy isn't here to moan about watch straps and all those sorts of things. Will, what do you make? What do you make of Grand Seiko? Do you ever part with your own cash for a Grand Seiko?
I'd said no up until now, but there is something about that watch that's really nice. I saw the price of it, which I think was about $9,000 or Swiss francs. That's just a bit too. It's a bit too much. I'm not sure how much they are on the second-hand market, but I can really appreciate it's a really beautiful watch. But as you say, the kind of test is: would you pay? I mean, I don't have that kind of money, but would you pay that kind of money for it?
I think the thing with Grand Seiko,
the price surprised me. I thought it'd be more.
Yeah, I think the thing with Grand Seiko is the impulse purchase. When you first see them, so many of them wow you because they are gorgeous. And if the sales guy can catch you just at that moment, there's a chance of him converting a sale. But see, if you think about it for more than 10 seconds, it's like, yeah, it's really lovely, but yeah, it's Grand Seiko. What am I doing? But if you can get in there, I remember seeing the wooden it was a red dialed one that looked quite almost like a treated timber dial. I can't remember the reference number. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It just appeared in the window. It had actually been sent to the shop in error in Glasgow, so they had it before anybody even knew it existed. And I saw it and I would just buy that right now. Thankfully, I didn't, and I came to my senses moments later. But it's a Grand Seiko thing. Azad, thoughts on this? Are you a Grand Seiko owner? Have I just insulted you and every other Grand Seiko owner as having no willpower in the chat?
Yeah, I'm crying on the inside. Right
I can tell.
I think I own 5 of these also. I think it's a really good step forward because at last they've managed to bring the size of these watches down. On the titanium bracelets, it's going to be very comfortable to wear at 37mm for some people. They obviously still have the larger models for those that prefer the bigger ones, but importantly is that adjustment in the bracelets, because that's something that Grand Seiko owners have been complaining about for years, for absolute years. Their bracelets have been up to scratch. Yes, only 3 fixed positions, but it's 2mm per position, so 6mm total. That's not bad. That's it's getting towards the size of a link, which I think is going to be very helpful. So a hit from me.
Good. Okay. Right. We'll do 2 more brands, I think, and then call it quits for the evening. So where shout out randomly, first person whose voice I hear, and I like what you say. Tudor. Yes.
Yeah, Tudor.
It was always going to be Tudor.
Conspicuous by their absence so far.
Yes. So let's go to Tudor. Tudor. How do you spell Tudor, and why can't I find it? Why can't I find Tudor? There we go. Tudor, like Chewbacca.
Tudor.
Right, Tudor. Right, there we go. And you released the Tudor Black Bay 6843mm for every discerning Panerai owner. The Tudor Black Bay Pro watch with opaline dial for everyone that's like, have we not seen this already? Tudor Black Bay Chrono Black and White now with 3 and 5 link T-fit bracelet. There was a rule that anyone that treats just we changed the bracelet as a new release gets minus points. And new release Tudor Black Bay 58 watch in burgundy. I've always liked Tudor's burgundy watches. And then a Pelagos Ultra. Again, there was minus points for any brand that used the word ultra or professional in their launch. But where would we like to go on this? I'm tempted to go to the Pelagos, but I'm open to suggestions. What would you like to do hit miss maybe on? In the chat, anybody?
Azad's the man with the Tudors in his background.
Yes, Azad, you choose.
I'm wearing my Pelagos, so let's do it.
Let's do the Pelagos. So this is the Wide Boy Pelagos Ultra watch.
1 extra millimeter.
1 extra, but is it only 1 extra millimeter? Does it change where is the extra millimeter? Is it spread evenly across? Or is it just the bezel? Or is it the face? Does this watch now look completely out of proportion because they've increased
it's the same thickness as the 42, so it doesn't look crazy.
So why? Actually, just why this watch? If anybody can answer, what was the need? Who was sitting there going, you know what I need for my Pelagos? An extra mil. It was either that or a helium escape valve.
We need a Challenger. Yeah, we need a Challenger deep, but we got one.
I do wonder, are they just trolling Omega with their Ultra Deeps? We've made our own Ultra now.
Well, I was more inclined to think that the brand that Tudor were really going after in the releases today was actually Breitling, because I think Breitling have been very much going after Tudor and their market share. I'm not sure that this Pelagos watch actually demonstrates that particular fact. I think the other 43mm one probably does. But it's a 1,000-meter dive watch. What's the normal Pelagos?
600.
So for an extra millimeter, you get 400 meters. Is that basically what we're saying?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how much. So explain to me why
standard conversion.
Exactly. Explain to me why Omega, if we let them put an extra millimeter on the Speedmaster, can't go from 30 meters to 3,000 meters. And if that's all it takes to add 400 meters to your watch, Omega, what are you doing? Right, okay, let's give this a hit, a miss, or a maybe. 1, 2, 3, go. It's a hit from me. It's a hit. It's a miss from Azad. Tudor man himself says no. The man from Tudor, he say no. I say yes, because frankly, any watch that's over 43mm deserves to be a hit, because that's just the way it goes. Us wide boy watch owners have got to stick together, and so this gets a hit. Azad, why a miss?
It should have been even bigger. It should have been a 45. Make it really
That's too small.
Make it really distinct from the existing one. I mean, if they said, okay, we're going to discontinue the old one and this is the new one, I'm totally on board with that. But what does
that'll be the Ultra Deep Pro.
The Ultra Deep Pro Plus.
An extra minus point for the Pro Plus. And the extreme spelled with an X, not an E. Yeah.
Are the 42 still in the catalogue?
Yeah.
I assume so.
Okay.
I assume so.
It is, yeah.
Apparently, I'm asking questions I don't want to know the answer to in the chat. I'm not sure which particular question. Someone's got to keep the show going along by being rhetorical. Yeah. It's got the micro, the clasp. How much is it?
With loom in the micro adjust as well.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes.
Because
right, okay.
I'm just comparing to my one. They've taken out some of the text, which that's not bad idea.
Right, okay. Well, there's a loom shot. It's nice. How much is this watch?
Just over 5,000.
It feels like a reasonable price. It feels like a decent overall package. Will, you voted hit?
Yeah, no, I said it was a hit, and it's beautiful. The Pelagos is my favorite Tudor, and it's absolutely lovely. It's stunning. It could have gone even bigger, as you said, and it could have gone into kind of Breitling, very big, ultra big territory. Sadly, I'm not sure about the name, the Ultra, because doesn't the Apple Watch also call itself the Ultra Apple Watch for the extra big kind of Apple Watch, which maybe is just sacrilege and ruined it for me. But it's really nice, and I love the different coloured text as well. Although I was a big fan of the red text, the red line. But no, that's really good. That's on my list now.
On the Christmas list.
Things I really want.
Is it just me, or does it not? On the strap, does it actually look like a Pelagos? I'm looking at it going, it feels like, I'm not sure what it is about.
I think on the strap it looks lovely, but I agree, it kind of takes it away a bit from
it's the crown guard. Is that how the crown guard is on a normal Pelagos? If they tweak that slightly, is that where the extra mill is? It's actually nothing to do with the watch. They've just made the crown guard stick out a bit further. Anyway, right, Nick.
Yeah, I like it. I do think it's probably a Pelagos replacement. I don't think, because the Pelagos have been around for quite a while now, so I think maybe the Pelagos will be discontinued next year, and they'll come out with Meta in that and something else, or maybe this will just completely replace it. But yeah, no, I think it is nice.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Is it any thicker than the previous, the non-ultra?
I'm pretty sure I've finished the same thickness.
Let me
the same
see
thickness,
if
that's
it's
impressive.
if it's in the text.
Less than a millimeter difference, I think.
I mean, if they going by Nick's logic there, then if they do get rid of the previous model and replace it, or they might do a pro version, which, judging by the Tudor nomenclature, means that it comes with the GMT hand, which is handy underwater.
Yep. Okay. Right. Well, I feel like there's only one place we can realistically finish the show, and it probably has to be here reasonably at the Panerai boutique. So
I thought you were going to say Hublot for a second.
No, Hublot. I think Hublot have been quite disappointing. They've not been shocking enough to be able to poke fun at, and they've not been like it's just kind of very mid. Whoever thought that Hublot could ever be described as middle of the road? I think this was the year. But Panerai have brought us probably the complication next to a GMT underwater as useless, and that is Panerai Luminor Perpetual Calendar GMT. So they've taken the GMT usefulness and added a perpetual calendar, because what you need to know underwater is that your calendar has taken account of the leap year. So yeah, I mean, I do love it because it's a Panerai, and so I automatically love it. But this is just stupid. Nobody asked for this. It would only be more stupid, but only more desirable in my eyes if they also had the equation of time on it. So please, Panerai, just for me, add the equation of time module to this watch, because I would love you forever and I would absolutely buy one. I'd probably be the only one. And I would promise...
A minute repeater be more useful.
A minute repeater underwater. Yeah. So yeah, just let me hear it. I mean, is there not? There is. What is it? Did JLC not make an underwater alarm? They had a watch that the alarm was loud enough to be heard underwater back in the day when JLC made useful complications. You understand? So yeah, Panerai Luminor, just for the sake of it. Let's give it a hit, a miss, or a maybe. I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. It's clearly 2 thumbs up. I'm overruling all of you. It's clear to. Will you get to speak because you gave it a maybe?
Thank you. Oh God, I really like it, but I don't like what they've done. But I can see why they've done it. And I was thinking about an analogy, and it's probably not going to work. Maybe it does, but it's as if you take a really functional 4x4 off-road SUV type Range Rover, but then you urbanize it. So you drop it down and you put all kinds of wings and spoilers and stuff on. So, or maybe like a G-Wagon type thing. Overfinch it. Yes, exactly. Yeah, overfinch it. So it looks still shiny and black and classy, inverted commas, etc., and it's still really expensive, and you could turn up to a black tie event being driven up it outside of it and still look very, very, kind of wealthy or fancy or whatever. But and arguably it could still possibly do a bit of what it was meant to do, and it probably still does all of that, but it just takes it out of what it should be, which I think the beauty of Panerai is the big simple hands and the fact that it was a dive watch from the Italian Navy. So that's why it's a maybe for me. It's like I can see what they've done and it would look really nice with a suit or a tux or something like that, but it's not necessary. They didn't need to do it. I don't think they need to do it.
It's a nice looking movement. It has to be said. Matt, I don't know if you were chortling away because you just discovered and noticed something.
I did. So if you go back to the previous photo, I think our arguments that it's a GMT underwater will be made redundant very quickly when we notice that the water resistance is 50 meters.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With a crown guard, those handy crown guards for when you're.
Yeah, I mean, is it just making it more and more obvious that the crown guard in my Panerai serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever? Because it seems to be it seems to be no relationship to actually the water resistance of the Luminor. It seems to be entirely dependent on other factors, which makes no sense. Because presumably you can screw on the back of the watch with exactly the same pressure on any watch, and the materials are all the same. It's not because the steel's thinner. So I don't know what it is that makes this 50 meters, while my Panerai, which looks exactly the same as, I don't actually know what the water resistance. It's not a water resistance that I need to worry about, and mine is a GMT, so it's clearly to do the pushers. But then the
fact that
I assume this,
the fact that it resembles their dive watch and that we all know them for being dive watches is what's holding them back, isn't it? Because in the back of our minds, we go, why have they done this to a dive watch? It's not a dive watch, is what they'll say. It's not a dive watch. It's a platinum 50-meter world traveler that happens to look fantastic. I actually really, really like it. I think it's absolutely stunning. And again, it's got that recognition factor across the bar, although whether you'll want to be recognized is another matter altogether.
Yes, that is true. For $67,600. What do you suppose the $600 was spent on? Why? Where's the $600? Yeah, the TM. That's the TM that means nothing because you can't one day someone will tell me what the TM means because it doesn't mean trademark. Because I don't think that is a trademark. Presumably, you can't trademark. Well, you're the expert on this.
It's Italian. Yes,
Italian. You can't. That's not what they're trying to do. There is not a trademark. What they're trying to do there is a patent.
It's a patent. Exactly.
Registered.
Registered. So unless it's Italian for Tecnicale Macinato or something like some sort of whatever Italian for patent.
And on that note, we finished the show. Surely Will's Italian. Azad, what did you think of this? And then we'll leave it.
I gave it a miss, but I might actually change it back to a maybe because I kind of agree with the others that Panerai has a certain aesthetic and they're respecting their design philosophy and sticking to it, unlike other brands that we've already discussed today. I would have though put it in the Radiomir rather than the Luminor, just to make it look a little bit more dressy. But otherwise, it's you've got to respect the technology going in there. It's not a bad looking watch at all.
Good. Well, everyone, thanks very much for tuning in. We'll tidy up the audio hopefully, and you can hear this as a podcast later in the week. We'll leave with just this: the new release Vacheron Constantin Le Cabinet. I don't know. Matt, tell us how to pronounce this. official pronouncer.
Constantin Le Cabinetier Solaria ultra grande complication la première watch.
Which is made all the more because they use the word ultra in it. It was doing so well with all of these complications until they felt the need to say ultra. I thought it just kind of speaks for itself. Is it? Can something be ultra grand? It's like extremely rare, or it's singular. Yeah. Anyway, it's a cool looking watch.
Very, very unique. Yeah.
Very, very unique. That was the phrase I was looking for. Something cannot be very unique. Yeah, love it. You got to wonder what the Patek guys thought when they woke up and saw this, as well as the poor guys at Roger Dubuis who thought they produced a grand complication watch today, apparently. But we'll leave it on this with its for. Maybe we should have a readout. Maybe I don't know. Is there actually a list? Oh, okay, higher and low on the price. Quick to end. Matt, price.
No idea.
You wanted to play this game.
600,000.
600,000. Well,
550.
550. Azad.
I'm gonna go 450.
450. I honestly don't know. I think you're miles out. If they even have told us how much it would be. Anyway, no, it's one of these. You got to apply. 1650. No, visit Visit the Vacheron Constantin website. Let's see if that tells us. I'll need to stop sharing this and reshare the Vacheron site. There we go. Their 270th anniversary watch. Are they going to tell us how much it is? Click one. Solaria, 1,521 components, including 13 patent applications, but they don't appear to have filed the note of how much they want to charge. Yeah, is there a basket? Oh, for our new timepiece in our e-boutique. Okay. There's two things. We should have finished this show already, but I do like doing this because at the bottom is is that a live chat? Oh, virtual assistant. how much please? And while that's going, we will go to the
an ambassador.
Oh, an ambassador. Right, let's see. We're on the shop now. Yeah, it's not appearing in the shop. We'll give the ambassador 10 seconds to appear, and then we're finishing the show. So thank you, everyone, for joining. We will maybe reveal in next week's show just how much this watch is, but as yet we don't know. They're trying to drag. Can you imagine if actually they do put us in touch with a genuine ambassador? Somebody is in the Vacheron Constantin post-match party and there's going, somebody wants to buy one of these. Quickly find someone. You're connected to our ambassador. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Magali. Okay. This is about to get interesting, folks. Magali is typing. Magali? What time zone is Magali going to be in order? He's got to be, or she is going to be, where we're midnight. They're going to Far East to be in the kind of time zone. Novelty. Let me just get the right name of this. The Ultra. I'll just call it.
There we go.
Thank you.
With whom do I have the pleasure?
Rick. There we go. Looking for the price for the Ultra complication.
Ultra grand.
Sorry. Ultra.
It's like egging your mates on to do things.
Grand complication. There we go. Right. Let's see how. Oh no! There was a moment of typing. Phil, baby Phil, come on, Michael, you can do it. You can just give us a straight answer. I hope you're having a wonderful day. What piece would it be? I've just told you. See above. The Ultra.
Yes.
Solaria? Yes.
Yes.
Solaria. The Solaria. Yes. Yep. Please. Do you think I can ask for 2? I'll ask for, if he gives us a price, I'll ask, is there a discount for multiple purchases? I'm sorry, Magdalene. Yeah. Sorry, it's a bespoke one of a time for like the price is kept between you. Unfortunately, the price is not shared with us. Okay. Well, we'll leave it this. Thank you.
How do I apply?
Yeah. Thank you. Who should I contact for the program? I know. I realize this makes great video and audio, but we're having fun, and that's really what it's all about. I think we'll just leave it at that. We're not going to get an answer, but we tried. We at least tried. We probably tried and got the same kind of response as everybody who was at the show this week. So that nothing different there. We will let you know if we find out.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for listening. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining the show. We will stop the live recording. You guys can all stay on for some post-match catch-up. But to everybody who's tuned in and watching online, thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And that should be us out.
Hooray.
Thank you, gents. That was fun.
Hooray. Thank you. It's really cool.
I enjoyed that. That's how we should do it all the time. We just turn up and do it. And I do love the live chats with these brands. We had a great one, which I don't think actually made.
Feature?
Oh, we've done it before. We did one ages ago with it was not Nomos. Your guys that Gary Neville's just been announced as being a brand ambassador for.
Has he?
Yeah. What's her faces in? I have to say, what's her faces in Switzerland? The Jean-Claude Biver brand that he joined. Come on, you know more about watches than I do. You should know this already. Jean-Claude Biver. What are they called? Look at a stupid name. Jean-Claude Biver.
No.
No. Micro. They produced that daft watch in multi.